is called. I know it's kind of a dark video title, but we're going to keep it light, you know. I was just thinking about how I basically had suicidal thoughts, like, since I was 14 years old, 15 years old. Yeah, just like death seemed very often like, it was like a fantasy. Like, I could just die. And then when I'd have that fantasy, like, well, I could just end my own life. You know, I would weigh the pros and cons of it. And I would be like, well, you know, good things might happen, right? Good things might happen. That's always something worth living for. You know, I always had, like, kind of creative projects. I used to always want to, like, leave a mark on the world. That was honestly something that saved my life for many years. Like, yeah, I could kill myself, but I've got, like, you know, I'll die completely unknown and nobody will remember me, and it's like, that bothered me. You know, so that kept me alive. So I was like, well, I want to make a mark on the world. And so it's like that just kept me going for a long time. Delusions of grandeur, basically. And you know, even as a father, husband, you know, those thoughts still pop in my head. It's basically like, life is tough right now. I'm having a hard time. Feels like the world's crashing down around me. And I would sit there and I'd be like, well, is it time? Is it time? Sit there on the edge of my bed and be like, well, let's think it out. Like, what would people think if I was to do this? You know, would it be, you know, my thought was always like, if I can find an opportunity where I can just, like, it's kind of the opposite of the, like, legacy thing. It's like there's the delusion of leaving a legacy, but then there's also the desire to just disappear. To just disappear from the world, you know. One time when I was, like, 17, I made a very, like, half-hearted attempt at suicide. And my understanding was, listen, if it's this easy to kill myself, if I could kill myself this easily, right now I feel like would be a good time. Like, I felt like, okay, now would be a good time to do this. I have nothing good going on in my life at all, and I want to die. So let's just, you know, hit the exit button, right? And I didn't die. You know, I'm glad I didn't die. But at the same time, if I would have died, what difference would it have made, you know? I mean, it would have been a big difference. People would have been really upset. My poor parents, you know, like, they would have found me in the bathroom. You know, it's like, it would have been bad. But, like, that's like, in my mind, it's like, I genuinely feel like that was a time where I could have just disappeared. And yeah, there's a lot I've done with my life, you know, but it's like, so that's like the opportunity that, like, my brain has always been like, is it time? You know? Is it time to die? And I sort of miss it, honestly, because now I'm so busy and my life is so busy and hard. I've got so much going on. I've got so many people depending on me whose lives would just be completely destroyed. Like, it's one thing to kill yourself and your parents, you know, they have to live with the grief their whole lives, and that's one thing, you know what I mean? But it's another thing for your whole family to become completely, like, it's another thing for, like, your wife and kids to be left without you being the sole income. You don't even have life insurance. And if you did, they don't let you, they don't honor a suicide. So this video is going to get buried. Nobody's even going to see this video. But it's like, now the option to kill myself is just completely non-existent. And in a way, that kind of makes me sad. It's kind of like, it kind of bums me out a little bit. Like, I feel more overwhelmed now because suicide simply isn't an option. Like, it's not ever going to be, like, a logical thing to do. Which it's not a lot. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Like, you shouldn't kill yourself. Something is always going to make living worth it at some point, you know. But I I can't even like fantasize about killing myself, because that makes me like, whereas before it was like, well, if I killed myself, they'd be sorry, and it would just be like, thankfully they would not. One of the big things that will make a father kill themselves, in my opinion, from what I've noticed from fathers that kill themselves, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of times they truly believe everybody would be better off without them. And that's something that like I've definitely humored before. But now I'm a pretty competent person, and I know that they'd be fucked without me. So now it's like, well, I can't even be like, well, maybe if I was just gone, then they'd be able to live a better life without me. It'd probably be better if I just wasn't here. No, it wouldn't be better if I wasn't there. The ramifications in the world of me killing myself would be significant. Now I've got 2 kids that are going to be without a dad. They're going to be dysfunctional and messed up. They're probably going to go be dysfunctional and messed up in the world. My wife's going to I don't know what she's going to do. She's going to be completely screwed. It's like the ramifications would be huge. So now it's like, that's not even a fantasy you get to have. You don't even get to fantasize about killing yourself anymore, because you know for a fact that everybody would be worse off without you, and that you're doing a relatively good job. You're doing as good of a job as any father could, essentially. I'm doing as good of a job as any father in America is doing right now. Like I'm up there as far as how well I'm doing. And yet, life really doesn't feel like it's a whole lot easier than it was when I was struggling and stressed out and smoking, and it doesn't honestly feel that much easier. But now I don't even get to fantasize about killing myself because I'm doing well. And now it just becomes a matter of I thought that if I got my shit together, life would be easier, but it's not. It's just not. Life is not easier just because I got my shit together. It's just not. I have accomplished a lot. I have reached a point, and life is fucking so hard. It's just one thing after another, one disappointment after another. It's just pain, 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 pain. And it's only going to get worse. I'm 33 now. I think my body hurts now. I've got 50 years or so of my body getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it to that point. And it's going to be I'm going to be like the guy at the end of the Hellraiser where he's got the hooks in his face. Jesus wept. That's me. Every day. Just it's there's no way out. I mean, one good thing is I am saved by Jesus Christ. I know when I die, I'll go to heaven. So I know that this life is temporary, and it's really only going to make me, the pain of it is only going to make me appreciate the life afterwards better. It's only going to make me appreciate that more. And who's to say that the sufferings of this life aren't going to eventually result in, shall we say, rewards in heaven? Who's to say? By keeping your shit together and not being a net negative on the world, and people be like, how'd you keep it together? It's well, the Bible says by believing on Christ, I've got, the Holy Spirit guiding me into all truth. And it's that's pretty much the only explanation for why I still, my shit is still together. But it's very, I feel very take up your crossy lately. I feel very much it's I don't know, just it's on me, and I'm just carrying it, and it's just damn. Yeah. Like I said, it's killing myself isn't an option anymore. It's it's like somehow, like, maybe I've matured to the point where it's not, it doesn't seem logical anymore. Like, when you're young and you're dumb, you know, maybe it's like, well, I'll just kill myself. And, like, that, like, you can kind of, like, feel sorry for yourself. But, like, once you mature, it's like you can't really humor that silly fantasy anymore. And, like, and now it's gone. And, like, I can't even, like, humor the thought. I can't even spend, like, 15 minutes thinking, oh man, imagine if I die. And then imagining, like, the ramifications of being like, well, it's best that I just stay alive then, you know, and I've got this going for me. You know, but now it's just like I'm too busy. I got too much on my plate to commit suicide. I can't do that. Can't do that. I've got too much on my plate. Anyway, I just thought I would make a video about that because I think it's kind of funny. Like, it's like the opposite. Like, it's like cry for help would be like, I'm going to kill myself. And my cry for help is, I can't even humor the idea of killing myself. And as a result, because I've reached that level of maturity, it's like my life has gotten harder. You know, back in the day, like when I was younger, I could be like, oh, I suck, I'm incompetent, everybody hates me. And, like, I know that's not the case anymore. And, like, as a result, my life has somehow gotten harder. Like, it was easier. It was easier when I felt, like, useless. But now I know I'm useful. And yet life is still this hard? It's like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like how the progression should go. It's like somehow I'm more competent than I've ever been in my life. And, like, and not only am I more competent, but I don't have suicidal thoughts anymore. And for some reason, that makes me feel like my mental health is worse than it's ever been. It's like, for some reason, like, the suicidal thoughts were like a counterbalance for my mental health. Like, it was like, well, you know, I mean, you know, I thought about killing myself. So, I mean, and I didn't. So it's like, I feel pretty good about that. It's like, kind of hits a reset button. But now I'm not that able to hit that reset button because it's just like, it would be such a stupid thing to do. I look down on I look down on the part of myself that would do that, and I don't even relate to him. Like the Jason that would kill himself, is like, I'm not him anymore. And as a result, I feel more overwhelmed than ever. I hope you're understanding, like, the weird, like, spot that I'm in. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, might be relatable, might not be, might be concerning. Call 5150 on me. Like, what seems to be his problem? Like, they're trying to report me to get me committed. Well, what's his problem? It's like, well, he says he's not considering suicide anymore. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Like, they understand that, like, that's a bad thing. Uh-oh. That's not good. He's going to be completely out of control. I know. They're like sitting me down and be like, yeah, but what if you did kill yourself? I'm like, no, I'm too busy to even think about that. It's like, no, like, let's sit. Like, alright, anyway. Just like, no, really, I need you to, like, you're not having any suicidal thoughts at all. Like, no, I can't have those anymore. Like, oh, this is bad. But I'll put you in a 3-day observation at least. It's like, they put me through hell. There's like, do you want to kill yourself? It's like, no, I just want to get out of here. I mean, of course, this is just some more bullshit I have to put up with. Now I'm going to get out of here, and it's going to be more bullshit that I have to put up with. And I won't even be able to kill myself to get out of it. Alright, anyway.